Uh, I mean, I think he's learned a lot, especially with the differences between, last year and this year, and being a captain of a team that's had success, and being captain of a team where the team has struggled and hasn't really been able to find consistency in its game all season long. So I think he's learned a lot. But as far as he goes, I don't think he's changed much. He still comes to play every game, and if I can recall right, I think his stats are ahead of where they were at this point last year, and so he's still bringing his game, and it's good to see when your captains come into play, no matter what the situation is and where the team is at. So I think that's what he's been good at all year long.
If they say that
It's good and bad. I think it depends how you take it. Some people might take it. Comfortable, but in hindsight, it probably takes a little longer than you think. So you kind of just come to the rink every day, do your job. We got a job to do. That's what we're paid to do, and you got to come, work your best, deal with the media and all that stuff. And that's what comes with it, and that's part of being a professional hockey player. And it's just part of the business.
What was the homecoming like for you, Ryan? Obviously, Evans goes through it tonight, but what was that first game like in Brooklyn for you?
Yeah, it was definitely really weird. I think just because it was early in the season too. Obviously, things are pretty fresh, and kind of those friends you have, it feels like you're almost part of the team still because it was so early in the year. So I saw those guys and a lot of emotion, but now I think things have kind of changed for me, and now it's kind of settled in, and it's definitely going to be weird though for him. I mean, he's played here for longer than I was in the Islanders too, so it's definitely weird, but at the same time though, it's kind of exciting, and always nice to see familiar faces, and go out there and compete against your former friends and team is also kind of fun.
Is it a myth that guys get motivated more facing their old team or the guy that they got traded for, or is that true?
I would say the team more than the guy. I don't think that Jordan Eberle's a heck of a hockey player and did a lot for the Oilers and done special things in his career. I think more or less, the GM, the coaches, the guys, you want to have a good game. So I think that's not a myth, that's for sure. You want to bring your best, and it's fun to see those faces, and obviously it's more fun to do well against your former team. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
year, but something you've done a couple times in your career, playing against your former team. What does that give you personally? Does it give you an extra jump in your game, or what does it do?
It's definitely fun. It gives you a little extra motivation. Obviously, you want to prove that that team that traded you away wrong, and obviously he has a lot of friends over there, so it's a cool game to be a part of. It's a little different than the regular 82 games. Different feeling for him for sure.
Thought I'm playing Jordan Eberle.
Yeah, it was good. He's a good player for us. Good guy. I wish nothing but the best for Ebbs, and obviously he's having another successful year. And like I said, I wish nothing but the best for him.
The Islanders have lost 7 straight. They're slumping here, and it gives you guys a chance to really jump on them early. What happens when you face a team that's desperate to get a win?
Well, I think at this point of the season where we're at, we're pretty desperate as well. I think it's something that we have to go in each game willing to move the needle and willing to improve and not get worse. So it's another challenge for us tonight. They're fighting to get in the playoffs. We're fighting to improve as a hockey team, and it'll go from there.
Definitely, yeah. He was the guy that kind of set the way for young players in Toronto that were kind of above their age group, and he was the guy that set that. So definitely looked up to him and everything that he did in junior and obviously now in the NHL.
What do you remember about the first time you met him?
I think I met him at the All-State camp. When I would have been 15 or something like that. I just met him. For me, I was excited about it. Just getting exceptional player status and whatnot. And
I know here in Edmonton, everybody was so excited when you came here and the rookie campaign you had and what you've been able to do. A lot of excitement on the Islanders' end for Matt Barzal. Can you share what you've noticed from him in this first NHL season for him?
Yeah, I think the first thing that pops out is just his skating. You watched him go up and down the ice is pretty impressive, and he's obviously got the tools to handle the speed as well. So his hands are great and his mind is good, and he's definitely a special player.
For you personally, how has it been handling this season? What have you learned? How have you grown? And how do you think that a season like this could help the organization overall moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, going through a season like this is never fun, but you have to learn from it. You have to find a way to learn from it and be better moving forward for it.
Last game, you guys scored in overtime. The last time against the Islanders, Draisaitl set you up for a 3-on-3. What makes 3-on-3 so fun? And secondly, what makes it so fun playing with Leon in that situation?
Oh yeah, we definitely have a lot of fun with it. There's a lot of open ice, a lot of time and space to be able to make plays and create something. So it's something that we've been able to do well, and yeah.
There's been some reports I have to ask you about Clefbaum and supposedly playing hurt or injured and not rest him. Can you comment on the health of Oscar Clefbaum?
Well, he's been healthy enough to play. He went through a bad spell early in the year. He had a treatment that kept him out of the lineup for a while. He's been good now for, I don't know if it's been a month and a half or 2 months since he had that treatment, but it eventually wears off. And, that's where he's at right now.
So it's not, there isn't some procedure that's waiting for Oscar Clefbaum that'll fix this problem overall, that'll,
There's like anybody that's playing right now on 31 different teams, there are a number of players that need procedures. He could end up being one of them. So we'll see how that goes from now till the end of the year. He's got to make, he'll have to make some personal decisions, and doctors will have to consult with him as well.
Ryan Strome came into the league as a fifth overall pick, and that brings with it some offensive expectations for some people. But he seems to be settling into that third line responsible penalty killing guy that can chip in with some offense right now. Is some guys that are drafted high settle into different roles in the NHL?
I think they do, and when you're picked that high, you usually are a dominant offensive point-producing player, regardless of what position, D-man, forward. Ryan was that, and he still has that in his game. It's just that he's not at that level that Connor's producing, or Austin Matthews, or any of those other top 4, 5, 6 picks, and that tends to lead to a negative aura around him. You know, and it happened to us too. We got tricked into that, or not tricked into it. We got drawn into that, and it made us look at him negatively. So we found a spot for him. We gave him different responsibilities, and as a result, he's played better over the last month and a half. He's been productive offensively. He's accepted those roles, and we feel that we have a pretty darn good player.
You've been in search of consistency for your penalty in a year. You finally have a run going right now. What would you say that, not that it's completely fixed, but what were the tweaks or the changes that have got you on that run?
Well, we made some systematic changes. We also made some personnel changes. We looked at practice and practiced differently. Meetings were adjusted. You know, we did just about everything you possibly could to that unit or to that special team to try and make a difference. Now, you know, the one thing that you can't change is the breaks and the bounces that go off a skate to an open player, as that first goal was the other night against Arizona. I think we've been getting some key saves and some key bounces on our penalty kill where the puck has gone the right direction instead of the wrong direction, where early in the year it wasn't.
Darnell Nurse, what makes a player a first-pairing defenseman as opposed to a 3-4? Is he in that situation where he looks like he could be, over time, a first-pairing defenseman every night?
Oh, he definitely looks like he can become that, and I think he's trending towards that. His learning curve has been very steep and very sharp since he's been here. He's still considered a young defenseman, in my opinion. You know, he has a number of tools that a number 1 or number 2 D-men possess, especially defensively, the size, the ability to move, a tenacity and a toughness that make it hard for top players to play against. He has shown, and he's looking for consistency in this area, the ability to create some offense. So those are some of the elements that number 1 or number 2 guy has.
You guys have 10 wins in overtime. Do you at all, like the fans, get excited when it comes to 3-on-3, especially when you can throw out McDavid, Draisaitl, who have such great chemistry? They scored combined last game against the Islanders. Or is that maybe later on when you're watching video where you can realize?
No, when we get to that point, it's there's an intensity that occurs not only in our building but all the buildings in the league. When you get to 3-on-3, it becomes very exciting. It's been one of the better things I think our league has done. It's opened up the game. You know, when you have a chance to peek up in the stands, everybody seems to be standing or on the edge of their seats, one way or the other. And every team in the league has strengths that they have and weaknesses they have as a team. One of our strengths is overtime and the ability to put that pair on the ice and then come back with another pair now that Nuge is here to counter that. And we have had success. We've also had some success in the shootout. So, but unfortunately for us, that's the 5-minute game. It's the 60-minute game that we'd like to win in regulation, or you know, and win more often. That's where we've got to fix things.
If what they say is true, that sometimes you lose, you learn more from losing than winning. What would a veteran coach have learned this year? Do you keep a book on some things that this season might have taught you that you can take forward?
Well, the year isn't over yet. So that's probably a much easier question to answer. We've still got 1/5 of a season in front of us, so let's throw that at me in 16 games. There, I just destroyed your article, didn't I? Yeah, probably. I got a feeling it's 3/4 written already.